Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully everybody is doing well. I got another movie review for you, another 4K review, and we are going to be reviewing a new release from Kino Lorber, and that's the 4K version of Orson Welles' Touch of Evil. Look at that artwork. It is absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to go in real quickly about what this movie's about. I'm basically going to use the one, basic one or two sentences they used to describe this. I think it was on IMDb because I think it fits it perfectly. And basically this movie is about murder, kidnapping, and police corruption in a small California town that's right on the Mexican border. In the long and short, that's pretty much what this movie is about. Now, I started this movie, I want to say about 10 or 15 years ago. One Friday night, I was extremely tired. I made it probably about maybe 10 minutes into the movie, fell asleep, and for some reason just never went back and rewatched it. So I was really happy to hear when it got a 4K release because I was like, you know what? I need to go back and actually sit down and watch this. So I picked this 4K release up and watched it, and my God, I am so glad I did. This movie is fantastic. This movie succeeds across the board. It is so good. It has a great story, has great acting, great dialogue, great cinematography. I mean, outstanding cinematography. Some of the best cinematography I've seen in a long time. The soundtrack is fantastic. It's great atmosphere. It's film noir. It's very moody. A lot of shadows, lots of lights and darks. And man, this movie is just great. I don't know. I've only seen maybe probably five Orson Welles movies. I gotta say, I think this goes to the top of the list. I think I like this more than Citizen Kane. It is so good and just outstanding performances, especially by Orson Welles. This movie is just dark and sleazy and just, it is so, so good. So, if you couldn't tell by that, I was a pretty big fan of this. So, let's delve into this actual release and talk about it a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to say about this release is I love the artwork. The slipcover is very cool. It's very vibrant. This could have been the original poster art. I'm not 100% sure, but I like it. It's a very nice slip. You get no reversible cover art. The same thing that's under here is just the same one I looked. There's no reversible artwork. But one thing that you should beware about this release is if you're going to pick it up, is it's a 3-disc, but there's only room for 2 discs on here. So they stack the discs. Kino Lorber, come on. I expected better from you. But it is what it is. But it's not a deal breaker because there's a lot of other great qualities to this release. But that's something that you should beware is that, they don't put that third tray in there to add that third disc. They just stack the disc. And that drives me insane. But like I said, it's not a deal breaker. So now we're going to delve a little bit into the release a little bit. So you do actually get 3 versions of the film. Let me find them here. Hold on one second. So you get a reconstructed version, which is 111 minutes. You get the theatrical cut, which is the version that I watched at 96 minutes. And then you get the preview version at 109 minutes. And they all have brand new 4K restorations. Dolby Vision, DTS sound. Let's see. Let's go into special features. So we have, for special features, we have Bringing the Evil to Life, a retrospective documentary featuring interviews with Charlton Heston, Janet Leigh, crew members and film historians. Evil Lost and Found, a behind-the-scenes look at the reconstruction of Touch of Evil and the 3 versions of the film. 5 feature commentaries, including one with Charlton Heston, Janet Leigh, and 2 newly recorded ones by film historians Tim Lucas and I'm going to try to get the name wrong. I'm sure I'm going to butcher it. Imogen Sarah Smith. I'm sorry. Imogen Sarah Smith. I apologize if I got that name wrong. Imogen. I think is maybe Imogen, something like that. So yeah, so let's delve a little bit into the way this movie actually looks. It looks fantastic. A lot of people don't realize, a lot of people might think 4K, black and white, might not look that good. I think a lot of people don't realize how good, if it's done properly, black and white films can look in 4K. This one is awesome. There's lots of, starting off with like just the detail. You got that Dolby Vision. It's like the detail in the face is superb. Not Charlton Heston, but Orson Welles has like, a little bit of scruff, kind of a beard thing going. He's sweating a lot. That really comes through. It looks really, really good. The blacks are super black. They're not, so lots of times when you see even like 4K releases or especially like DVD releases, sometimes in black and white, in areas where it's like a black car or a black suit, you really see a lot of grain. And this is really cleaned up nicely. You don't see a lot of the grain in those blacks, but the dark, deep blacks show up really well in like on automobiles. On suits, it looks really good. This movie is a lot of shadows, a lot of light and dark. There's a nice composition between the lightness and the darkness. You can still see some things. You can still see stuff in the darkness while the more lit up area is still good and vibrant, but not overblown at all. Lots of great detail. The movie has a decent amount of grain, but it's not distracting by any means. I mean, the movie was made in 1958, maybe, 1958. I mean, it's going to have that film grain, but it's nice and level. It's a nice contrast. It's nice and even throughout. Some scenes are more grainier than the others. That kind of just depends on the source. But for the most part, the grain is nice. It looks nice. It's not distracting. It's a little more. I think once they did it into 4K, I don't have a Blu-ray to compare it with, but I feel like the version that I started or other like scenes and stuff that I've seen, the grain is much thicker. It's much more noticeable. This is a nice fine grain that gives it that nice filmic look, very cinematic, but not overpowering to the point of where it's very distracting. Overall, I think they did a fantastic job. I mean, it looks really, really, really good. I think this is actually, I believe this might be the first 4K Kino Lorber release that I've seen. I own a few, but I think this is the first one that I've actually had a chance to sit down and watch, and it looks fantastic. As far as the sound goes, it doesn't mention on here what the actual sound is. I'm assuming it's just like a 2.0 audio track. But anyway, I had absolutely no issues with the audio. I thought it sounded great. I had no issues with the dialogue. There's a lot of like atmospheric noise that's going on. Like you hear people talking, but there's lots of stuff kind of going on in the background. It all came through clear, but nothing overpowered everything else. It sounded really, really good. The soundtrack sounded fantastic. A lot of the music in this as well. If I didn't mention before, I can't remember if I did, but the soundtrack is fantastic. Some of it is added in, but a lot of it is just like live. Like they're in a bar and there's live music playing or music coming from the jukebox and stuff like that. And that all was very nice and level and paired very nicely with the dialogue and the music, and everything just seemed to be on a nice, even keel. Everything about this release is really, really good. The only thing that I have any complaints about is the stacking of the disc. But as far as sound and visuals and just movie as a whole, this is a home run. I really enjoyed this. If you are in the mood for a very moody, atmospheric, dark film noir, crime, corruption, police, sleazy, a little bit sleazy at times, just kind of film, this is your film. I cannot recommend this enough. And this release is fantastic. This is probably going to be the best the film ever looked. One more thing. I did just watch the theatrical version, so I can only talk about what that one looked like, although I have seen other people's reviews who have said that the preview version and the reconstructive version all look very good, although they did say that they thought that the theatrical one did look the cleanest and was probably the best one to watch as far as visuals and sound goes. But I've heard that the other two are very, very good as well, that you won't be disappointed with any of them. So yes, I will leave a link in the description below if you want to pick this up. I can't recommend it enough. This is absolutely fantastic. This movie is so good. This release is good. Do yourself a favor, go pick it up. That's going to do it for this review of Kino Lorber's 4K release of Touch of Evil. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Lets me know you guys like what I'm doing. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.